These people cannot protect you. They are incapable. Leftists are correct in mistrusting large institutions because of their corruption and lack of accountability. Where they are insanely wrong is their belief that the solution is to give even more unprecedented amounts of power to a centralized government. The gaps in logic are mind-boggling. Following the coronavirus story is following government corruption and incompetence. My ears first perked up when the head of the World Health Organization, Dr. Pedro ad hominem Ghebreyesus, said that restricting travel out of China would not help stop the spread of the virus.
There is no reason for measures that unnecessarily interfere with international travel and trade. We call on all countries to implement decisions that are evidence-based and consistent.
This made me apoplectic to hear a doctor, who's in charge of public health, make such a statement. I then looked into this doctor and saw he was from Ethiopia, the same country China is pouring billions of dollars into building up their infrastructure, energy sector, hospitals, education, everything. So it began to make sense when I saw article after article of the World Health Organization leader praising China's response to this virus and China in general. Ethiopia is also the site where China wants to build an $80 million headquarters for the African Center for Disease Control. I wonder if Dr. Ghebreyesus has any interest in keeping the vile Chinese communists happy. It also must be mentioned that the doctor is a fellow traveler, serving the Marxist-rooted, violently oppressive Ethiopian Tigray People's Liberation Front from 2012 to 2016. That's right, an Ethiopian Marxist was put in charge of the World Health Organization. If hearing things like that still surprises you, I don't know what to tell you. Against the wishes of the World Health Organization, Trump eventually closed off travel to China. It was only about a week after I was calling for that, so the response time was actually pretty good. Shortly after that, what we saw from all Western media is that Trump was racist for closing off travel from China. Not to mention, we saw our leaders were more scared about their evil citizens being racist to Chinese people, who they literally now call people of color. They were more worried about this than the actual disease for a short period of time. Then, in an effort to stem the rising tide of imaginary racism against Chinese people, the World Health Organization actually changed the name from coronavirus to COVID-19. If these people are having conference calls and sending emails and spending 1 minute talking about their feelings of the name of the virus, they can't protect you. They're compromised. They are completely lost. They will do more harm than good.
The World Health Organization was founded in 1948 on the conviction that health is a human right to be enjoyed by all people, not a privilege for the few.
Then the Diamond Princess cruise ship happened, where we stuck 14 infected people on a plane with over 300 seemingly healthy people and flew them back to the US. Apparently, this was against CDC recommendations and against the president's wishes. I don't care about CDC recommendations. I care about stupid. What is also the purpose of having military bases all over the world if because of incompetence we still fly back highly contagious individuals into the United States? Why didn't they charter a second plane? They literally have infinite money. It's because of incompetence. Affirmative action is huge in public sector hiring, so the most qualified individual is rarely the one hired. Second, the nepotism is so widespread that unaccomplished brothers, wives, husbands, and cousins are taking all these positions. Then once they're in there, public sector officials never, ever have to face repercussions for their actions, and they're impossible to fire. So they sit in the positions and continue to make stupid decision after stupid decision in every area that they have control. A short while after bringing the Diamond Princess cruise ship passengers home, a government official released an infected individual from quarantine. Originally, I saw this reported as a paperwork mistake. I have recently seen it reported as a false negative test, but I have seen both. But neither's the real reason. Incompetence is the real reason. In the private sector, people are afraid of losing their jobs, so they work hard and they act accordingly. In the public sector, they do whatever they want, when they want, without any risk of repercussion. Many times, screwing up results in promotion to another department. Now we are watching as our news media realizes that nearly 100% of our pharmaceutical medicine and equipment is either all or partially made in China. You can thank politicians going back 30 years from that on both sides of the aisle. They should be tried for their crimes against the American people. And it's not just pharmaceuticals, but every single item that we import that just 30 years before that was 100% made in America. And it was made in America for most of the world. Our politicians sold us out for pennies on the dollar. For years, decades, they represented everyone but the American people as they filled their pockets. Watch again as our government makes a large purchase of N95 surgical masks for us, for their population, and China turns the ship around because they want those masks. What's it like for a communist country to have you by the balls? Our news media has supported the hollowing out of our entire economy because selling out your children's birthright has made their bosses tremendously rich. They got paid pretty damn well to act as the propaganda ministry for the destruction of the greatest nation on earth. They distract the masses with anything to keep the focus off of this treason. Transgender this, and gay bathrooms that, and racism, and the Confederate flag, and the white nationalists are taking over. Anything to distract for just one more day from the destruction they've wrought upon us all. Their anti-human Marxist takeover is near complete. They just need a little more time. As part of our wholly corrupted FBI, they're investigating our institutions, handing over intellectual property to the communists. Communist agitators within our own government is going to turn around and investigate the FBI for racially profiling people. Democrats literally don't want you investigating a spy from China because he's Chinese. They're either completely insane or actively participating and promoting the downfall of our country. There are thousands of these people across the country handing over our intellectual property, giving access to our networks, while the servers themselves are manufactured here by a Chinese-owned company who put a little backdoor microchip in every one so they don't even need a spy. They could just hack right into them from China. The incompetence and the allegiances are all fucked up. We're ripe for a reckoning or for the ultimate downfall as a true believer becomes the Democrat nominee for president. Future people will look at what we had and how it was completely hollowed out and destroyed in one generation. We were promised the stars and flying cars. Instead, we got Devin is amazing and children propped up by our disgusting media calling you evil. The whole circle of things is very gross. The more you know, the more you wish you could forget. Get some food and water, get some guns and ammunition, not because of this virus, but because of the house of cards we call the U.S. economy. This is the world according to Tony. I'm Tony. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.